Today we are discussing the cultural and physical mechanical methods. An average crop losses due to the pests range between the 30 to 60%, with complete crop failure occurring if pests attack the soil. These losses vary according to the crop type, climate, farming practices, and other variables. It is essential that the pests be controlled so that the damage by the crop minimized. The concept of the pest management was proposed in 1961 by the Geezer and Clark. Wetgel was the first classified the method to control disease of the exclusion, eradication, and protection resistance, and later more methods include avoidance and therapy. National Academy. Next one is what are the chemical methods? Mainly, many chemical products are available that can be used to control pests. They are also called synthetic pesticides. The pesticides are the substances made for the attracting, reducing, and then the destroying any pests. They are the class of biocide. The most common use of the pesticides is in plant production products, which is the general protect plants from the nematodes, plant from the damaging of the influence such as the insects, plant pathogens, weeds, mollusks, birds, mammals, fish, nematodes, and microbes that are the destroy property causing nonsense of the spread disease. The disease vectors. After their introduction in the 1950s, the insecticides were viewed as the universal solution for all the pest problem. Pesticides uses an important control method to reduce the pest population in extremely low levels. In India, 50% of the pesticides are the consumed for the cotton, followed by rice 18%, boost and vegetable 14%, plantation crops 8%, cereals and pulses of oil seeds 7%, sugarcane 2%, and others the 1%. There are also called side the biocide. The most common is pesticides, the plant production products, is also known as the crop protection products. These generally protect the plants from damaging influences such as insects, plant pathogens, weeds, molluscs, birds, mammals, fish, nematodes, and microbes that destroy the property, cause nonsense, the spread disease or the disease vectors. After the introduction in the 1950s, insecticides, the pesticides classified targeted the organism as the fungicides. Mainly the target pest group is the Fungia umestis. Insecticides, the target pest is the insects. Herbicides, the target pest is the plant. Virucides, the viruses. Bactericides, the bacteria. Nematodes, nematodes. Algicides are algicides, algae. Miticides are the apricides, the mites. Molluscides, the snails. Herbicides, birds. Rodenticides is the rodents. Plant-derived pesticides are the botanicals include the pyrethroids, the retinoids, the nicotinoids, and the other groups include the strychnine and the scleroside. The pesticides the commercially available in the market generally are formulated products which is the contains around percentage of the actual pesticides known as active ingredients. The following active ingredients is the active component of the pesticide and is the moiety which is the patent synthesized and registered by the manufacturer. Chemical group are class in the name given in the group of the chemicals that the share the common biochemical mode of the action and registered by the manufacturer. Chem- Chemical name is the denoted the nomenclature system designed by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC. The set of the rules is used the name organic carbon based the compounds. Common name. The name is the proposed by the basic manufacturer of the active ingredients. This name is approved by the committee either at IUPAC or the American Chemical Society. Next one is the formulation. Is the pesticides product. It is the prepared the mixture of active ingredients plus ingredients that the improve the pesticidal performance such as the carriers, solvents, wetting agents, spreaders, and the stickers. Types of the formulation include the wettable powders, dry flowables, and emulsifiable concretes and the granules. Trade and trademark. This is the patent to the name under the which is the product is sold the end user. The different companies sell the same product, the different names. Pesticides kill the pests by the inhibiting or the blocking enzymes, neurotransmitters, hormones, and the secondary messengers in the various organ systems. Kill out the pests and the prevent the growth and development in young ones. In effect, the pesticides have the potential to kill not only the pests but other animals, including the humans, through air, food, and the water. In India, 50% of the pesticides are the consumed by the cotton, followed by rice 18%, fruits and vegetables 14%, plantation crops 8%, cereals, pulses, and oilseeds 7%, sugarcane 2%, and others the 1%. Fungicides are the used to control diseases caused by the fungi and fungus-like organism. Fungicides work in the variety of ways, but the most of them damage fungal cell membranes or interfere with the energy production within the fungal cells or inactivating the critical enzymes or proteins. The first fungicide discovered in the mid-late 1918s, Bodox was the first fungicide developed by the Alex Millard in France, combined the copper, combining the copper, sulfate and calcium hydroxide, and the still is the widely used the copper fungicides all over the world. The fungicides may be applied to seed soil or the foliage sprays. dust, emulsifiers, the fumigants, and the dressing. Fungicides are based on their action. These are the named are a broad spectrum and narrow spectrum. Fungicides, the broad spectrum fungicides can be often controlled a wide range of the unrelated pathogens. These the generally are contacts with the multi-C activity, but some of them have the single-digit activity. Examples of the chlorothalonil, monocozob, narrow-spectrum fungicides effective the against only few the usually closely. Fungicides based on the breadth of the activity. Single site fungicides active on one point is one of the metabolic pathway in fungus or the against the single critical enzyme or production needed by the fungus. Multiple site action. This affects the number of different metabolic sites within the fungus. Fungicides based on the chemical nature and the mobility. Fungicides are either the protect or the systematic activity. Protect the fungicides remain on plant surfaces and the applied prior infection. Example, monopozium, manib, chlorothianol, terbom, captan, thyrone. The systematic fungicides are the applied to the destroy the disease already established. They are the absorbed by the plant and the restricted within the plant. This activity is known as the eradicate or kickback movement of the almost systematic fungicides within the plant. Is the upward toward plant stops and the leaf tips and not as the downward from the leaves and roots. Examples. Fungicide and the base the chemical nature. Inorganic fungicides. They are the made of the copper, sulfur, carbonate, phosphate, phosphoric acid, and film forming compounds. The most widely used in the inorganic fungicides that contain the copper borax mixture. Copper sulfate and the calcium hydroxide is also called as is the first fungicide used against the grape grapevine disease in the France. The copper is the fungitoxic component in the calcium hydroxide used to reduce the phytotoxicity of the chemical copper oxychloride is preferred as the fungicide as it is can be stored more easily and is the less corrosive. Inorganic sulfur compounds, including the elemental sulfur and the lime sulfur, the effective fungicides, the primarily against the powdery mildews. All are the inorganic fungicides. The organic fungicides, the sulfur compounds, dithiocarbamates, and these are the extensively and are largely protectants. This group of the includes the pyram, monab, and the ginab. These fungicides are the inactive amino acids and enzymes in the pathogen after the being the hydroxide to the this fungicides the inactive amino acids and enzyme. And the pathogen after being the hydrolyzed the isothiocyanate radical. The remainder of the fungicides are the systematic in their movement within the plant. Aclomines are the group of the fungicides that include the metaloxyl and are the effective against range of the Humaceae fungi. It is often sold under the trade names in the radiomile or the apron is the sweet dressing. Steroid inhibiting the fungicides disturb the biosynthesis of the ergosterol, including the chlorozines, benermel, and the tridamine and trizoles have the protective and the curative action against the range of the polio, the root, and the seedling diseases. Other organic protectant fungicides, including the quinines, aromatic compounds, and the heterocyclic compound. This is the last class includes the fungicides I have captain introducing the phenoclozine. These are the fungicides as applied in the foliar formation or as a seed dressing. This including the chlorozone is the seed treatment, triforin. Triforin is effective against the range of the Ascomycetes fungi and the crops. The effective omicides fungi, some rust, Strobilursin are the group of the fungicides developed as the analogous of compounds produced by the wood rooting fungi and are now widely available. Inorganic compounds, carbon compounds, the chemical composition of the copper compounds, the trade name is the borax mixture, is in the control of the downy mills of the leaf, spots and blights, anthracnose and the cankers. They are applied for the liquid portion. The copper oxychloride 50%. The trade name is the Biltox 50, Oxycore, Riva. These are also applied for the liquid. Sulfur compounds, trade name is the microthiol and disperse phthalates. These are also used to control of the powdered mildews, certain rust, leaf blight, scab, brown root of the frost, pitch of the curl and the fruit rots. Dust vegetable powder, pasty or the liquid. Carbonate compounds, salts of the sodium bicarbonate or sodium bicarbonate. They are the controlled by the black leaf spots and southern blight of the gray mold. They are also applied for the liquid portion. Phosphate and the phosphonate compounds, monopotassium phosphate or the dipotassium phosphate, powdery mildews and liquid portion. Next one is the some of the film compounds the forming chemical full name is the mineral oils and the serpocaine and the kaolin based in the panel. Mainly this is applied for the liquid or gas. Organic compounds, sulfur compounds, dithiocarbanates, pyram 75%, pyrox, seed and bulb fungi, foliar diseases, edible powdery. Sulfur compounds, dithiocarbanates in the perbam. Perbam are the carbonate. Foliar disease the mainly fruits and the trees and the ornamentals. Ethylene and biodiethyl diethylene 145 is also used for the liquid portion. The next one is the organic aromatic compounds, benzene compounds, pentachloronitrobenzene. There also train name is the PCNB terraclar. Mainly there is the control of the soil-borne diseases. There also they apply for the liquid portion. Next one is the some heterocyclic compounds, captan, leaf spots, blights, fruit rots on fruit crops, vegetables, and the top seed protectant are for the several crops. Cypridine broad spectrum. Overall, the Chipco is a trade name. Epic 30. These are also the controlling of the foliar contact fungicides in the seed treatment. Basidiomycetes. Vinclozolizum. These are also trade name is the Ornolin, Ronalin, Tochi, Orlin. The contact protective fungicides, conservative fungicides, against the sclerotia producing the fungicides, liquid portion. Organic and systematic fungicides, aclomines, the methoxyl is the chemical composition, and trade name is the radiomyl and napron. There are also they can use controlling of the downy mildews, the broad spectrum soil and the foliar diseases. Seed dressing for the damping and the stem rots and the cankers. They are also applied for the liquid portion. The benzoamide portion, the binomial carbon benzoate and benolate and Telson 1991 is the lowest in fungi. A broad spectrum leaf spots in the plasma. Organophosphate fungicides. Postial altered, and next one is the strobilins are the coin fungicides. Adjoxerbin and bound the most fungal disease. They can controlling of the most fungal disease. Nicene systematic. Tornab, next one the bacteriocyte antibiotic. Antibiotics are the use of the control bacterial disease and disease caused by the Phytoplasma. Antibiotics are the absorbed by the plant and the translocated. Commonly used the antibiotics including the streptomycin, tetracycline, and cyclophosphamide. Drawbacks with the use of the antibiotics are there the phytotoxic effects and there the rapid development of the resistance in the disease causing organism. Nematicides are the used to the control diseases Nematocides are used in the control disease caused by the nematodes. Nematodes are the usually toxic to warm-blooded animals, and that should be only by the used with the extreme caution. Nematocides may be the either the fungigants and the non-fungigants. Nematocides, there were several soil fungigants acts against the nematodes, which also effective against the fungi, bacteria, weed seeds, and the insects. Oligonucleated hydrocarbons, methyl bromide, or the fluoropricin, are the applied the soil treatment of the fumigation. Organophosphate nematocides, the available as water in the soluble liquids, are the granules applied to the before planting and are the effectively only against the nematodes. Isothiocyanins is applied for the injection 2 weeks before the planting. Control nematodes as well as the soil insect with the most soil fungi. Insecticides are commonly used including the organochlorides and the organophosphatates and the carbamates. Organochloride the hydrocarbons are the separated into the dichloroethylene, the cyclodine compounds and the other related compound. Technical name of the formulation trade names the carbofuran, the borate, chlorpyrifene, monocrotophos. Next one is the dichloros, crotop hydrochloride, acetate. Okay, these are all are the nematicides and insecticides. Next one is the ecological pest management practices, the biological control. Biological control is an environmental sound and the effective of the means the reducing the mitigating pests and the pest effects through the use of the natural and enemies. It is the important components in the integrated pest management. The International Organization, the biological control defines the biological control, the use of the living organism or their the products to prevent or the reduce the losses or damage caused by the harmful organisms. The terms biological control and it is the abbreviated synonyms the biocontrol have been used the different and different fields of the biology. Most notably, entomology and the plant pathology it has been the considered among the most promising technology for the sustainable agriculture. It reduces the reliance and the synthetic pesticides to minimize the negative impact on the environment and improve the workers' safety while at the same time maintaining of the economic viability. And next one is the types of the biocontrol. And the basically there are the three types of the biocontrol strategies in plant pest control: importation, augmentation, conservation. These are the three types of the biocontrol. Importation, also known as the classical biological control, defined the international introduction of an exotic bioagent for the permanent establishment and the long-term control of the pests. Relatively few numbers of the certain species of the natural enemy are collected from the country, region, origin of the pest. Later, these are the species included. Biological control has been the most successful with the perennial crops and the plantation and the forest. Augmentation is the periodic of the release natural enemy does not occur naturally sufficient numbers to create the pest to be damaging levels. Inoculity and releases. Inoculity release the involves the releasing the small numbers of the natural enemies in a prescribed and intervals throughout the pest period when the pest population is the very low. Initially in the this method, the introduced the agents are the expected to reproduce themselves to provide the more long-term control. The aim of the inoculative release to keep the pest low of the more long-term control. The aim of the inoculative release is the keep inoculative release the involves the release greater number of agents for the immediate control. The purpose of the individual release is the creative and the massive ratio in the favor of the natural enemy. Similar to the use of the pesticides, the producing the rapid reduction or local extinction of the pest. The control the temporary and the repeated release are the required. The control of the whiteflies, the leaf minerals and thrips and the aphids are the mites, parasitoids and the predators are the greenhouses. Conservation also is the control refer the is the indigenous predators and the parasites usually against the native pests. Existing the natural enemies and the conservation of the biological control is defined as modification of the environment existing the practices to the protect and the enhance the specific natural enemies of the other organisms to reduce the effect of the harmful pests. The bioagents are already adapted to the habit and the target to the pests and there the conservation of the simple cost effective. Various measures are the employed to the enhance abundance activity, the natural enemies including the manipulation of this the crop microclimate creation of the overwintering and the refuges. ఏమైనా కావాలన్నా దివిచంద్? Types of the biocontrol agent: predators, parasitoids, and entomopathogen bacteria, baculoviruses, entomofungi, entomopathogen nematodes, protozoa, plant pathogen antagonists, and predators. These are the beneficial because they are the feed directly under the insects like the aphids. Generally, they are the feed and the prey smaller than themselves, except they are the release the poison, use the trap or the hunt of the groups. Predators are the free living. They require the many prey in the complete their the life cycles. Examples: dragonflies, ground beetles, spiders, mites, monkey, toads, some birds like the crow, sparrow. Parasitides, the parasite is the organism living in on the another living organism, obtaining the nutrients from the host, resulting of the altered growth, development, and the reduced reproduction or death for the host. This term is generally for the insects and the parasitism. There the insects, but usually not killing of the host parasite. Usually have the shorter life cycle than the host. They are the maybe host specific or polypagons. Host-specific parasites are usually preferred for the management. Introduce the pests. Polyphagopus, the parasites are the moths produce the use of the management of the variety of the Lepidoptera and tissue barriers and the leaf birds. Entomopathogen. These are the disease-causing organisms such as the bacteria, virus, fungi, and the protozoa in insect pests. They the kill host of the debilitate the future generation. Examples of the verticocalculum density, the fungus scale insects, the memoria relay. The fungus is the lepidodendrons, the nucleopolyhedra viruses. The infected insects, the disabled the field properly stunted in the loosey body color. Entomopathogenic bacteria, these are the cellularly associated with the insect. They enter the body cavity through the contaminated feed and the multiply. Some bacteria enter the host body through the injury caused the parasitides or the infections the cause of the protozoa or nematodes. Death of the colonized insect die due to the intoxication, lack of the oxygen, toxins released by the bacteria and the exotoxins. Toxins. It is the produced by fermentation technology in the commercially used in the insect in 1930 in the France. In India, only BT cotton is the commercialized. Baculoviruses, insect pathogen viruses, such as the nucleopolyhedroviruses and the granuloviruses are widely used in the pest control. The NPVs are the most specific, but the GV are the more specific. These viruses are the used to the control lepidodendrons. The commercially formulation of NPV are the applied to control bollworm and the tobacco except like the viruses suspension are the safely integrated with the insecticides are the it reduces the doses and also is the parasitic. Trichoderma species are the predator the Cryosporella, entomofungi, fungi biocontrol agents effective against the wide range insect pests including the Spodopteran species, the fungal species attacking the insects belong the Masticomycotina, Zygomycotina, and Basidiomycotina. Entomopathogenic nematodes, the directly attack the insect pests. The invasive larvae, depends are the associated bacteria, Xenothorbus and the Phototropodas, is that their gut. These are the bacteria kill insect pests. The putrefaction of dead insect related to the some of the protozoa, several protozoa parasites insects, but only sporozoa and Pseudospora cause the death of the parasite insects. Plant pathogen antagonists. These are the microorganisms grow in association with the pathogens of the plant and control them through the various mechanisms like the competition of the antibiotics, prediction and the hyperparasitism, mycoparasitism, the other forms of the direct explosion, fungal genera, trichoderma, and Glioblastoma, Latosera, bacterial genera, Pseudomonas, Bacillus, Streptomyces, while Pseudomonas fetida is the Pseudomonas fluorescensis applied for seed coating protecting the several soil-borne plant pathogens. Methods of the application of the biocontrol agents, seed treatment, tuber rhizome cutting treatment, seedling treatment, nursery bed treatment, soil treatment, awaiting the broadcasting, the furrow and application, foliar spraying the method, advantage of the biocontrol, disadvantage of the all are the techniques, the controlling of the biocontrols. Okay.